So we're back at another podcast. You know, you should know our faces by now, but if you don't, that's KO. I'm Ken, and this is Plus Ultra.
Plus Ultra. Today, we give our predictions for Captain Marvel. Lenunis Marvel Cinematic Universe motion picture. Wow, that got way too racist way too quick.
Yeah, it did.
My bad.
Anyways, alright, so what he said was, let me translate. Movie review, Captain Marvel.
Not movie review, movie prediction.
Well, movie predictions, true.
The review will come later.
The review will come later. But the main things that we have as expectations, there are four of them. And they are, number one, can we follow the origin
of Captain Marvel? 2, how good was the acting / portrayal of the characters?
3, how well structured is the narrative structure?
And 4, how will the protagonist tie into Endgame? These are all questions that everybody's been asking for months.
And this is all questions that will probably not be answered by the end of this review.
Probably not, but
prediction video. We keep calling it a review.
yeah.
If y'all don't mind me chiming this in,
Yeah.
did y'all know that on Rotten Tomatoes they deleted around 54,000?
They went in deliberately and deleted a bunch of negative comments about the movie.
Yeah, 54,000.
Yeah.
Even though it only raised audience score up 2%, it's still at 36%. So it didn't really do anything. It didn't really help anything.
I gotta be real, you guys. I'm going into this movie with such low expectations,
mine's pretty low.
and it feels so bad because it's a Marvel movie. At this point, you've had 10 years, and you've come to expect a certain thing from a Marvel movie.
You do.
And all my trusted people, Jeremy Jahns, Chris Stuckman, it's not that they're deliberately shitting on it. It's that they're just saying it was blah, it was just average. It was, and that's the worst thing you could ever be as a comic book movie.
Yeah, especially for the first female solo outing of a Marvel character. Yeah. We have to have high expectations going into this, regardless of, if it was a male or a female. It's just, it's their
property
origin
of Marvel.
Yeah, and it's their origin story. I don't think fans have been this disappointed going into watching a movie since The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
And that was
talking about Hulk 2003, the Ang Lee Hulk. We're talking about Incredible Hulk where he fought Abomination.
No, we're talking about the first one in 2003.
Okay, we don't talk about that. You need to leave.
Yeah, that one is. You can kind of just count that one out. That one kind of doesn't really.
It doesn't.
Now, leave now.
I'm not leaving.
Okay.
If you're gonna talk about the Hulk, you gotta talk about the 08.
Yeah. That one's way better.
Yeah, it is.
And they had a game that was based off of the old, I forget what console it was on. Maximum Destruction. And it was a Hulk game, and it was great. You tear a car in half and use them as boxing gloves. It was awesome.
You could knock down whole buildings, bro. I loved it. Had it back on my Xbox.
Anyway, moving back to the subject of Captain Marvel.
Yeah, alright. So, hang on. Let me ask a question real quick, guys. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being great movie, and 1 being shitty, where do you guys think this movie will fall?
4. 4 for me, simply because it can't be outright horrible, because it's a Marvel movie. It's gonna do well. There are competent enough people over at Marvel, so I'm gonna say 4 out of 10 for me. Prediction-wise, that might change by the time the review comes.
What about you, Kale?
I'm about the same way, Andy. I'm about a 4 to 5. I'm in that range. Okay. No better than 5.
I'm gonna be optimistic here, and I'm gonna say I'm going in with expectations of at least a 7.
That's high.
That's a little high.
It is, but
trust me, that's painful for me to say, but that's a little high.
It is, but it's because this is the saving grace for me. This is why I'm saying that because this is probably going to be the last cameo we see of Stan Lee. So that's why I'm going in there with.
I don't
Damn
think
you.
the cameo will be enough.
I know,
It's
but
not
I'm
going to be
saying
enough to save it.
it's not going to be enough to save it, but it's going to be enough to make this. This is the
But-
last hurrah for a Marvel movie. Like,
But I heard that they had already filmed his Endgame cameo.
okay,
So he might be an Endgame. Well, if this does happen to be Stan Lee's last cameo in a Marvel movie, it's not a good one. It's not a good one to go out on.
yeah, I hope they really do make
Like,
Endgame.
I kind of hope they. This is me. You know how like in some like mediums when like a member of the production team dies, they'll like at the end of the credits they'll go in loving memory of blank whoever it was. I really hope they don't do that for this one, just because it was the movie that was closest to his death. I hope that they do it for
Endgame.
Endgame. Like I hope they save it for Endgame. Because
No.
that'll be the one that has the most
no.
gravity.
Fuck that. Fuck that. You know what'll have the most gravity? Far From Home. It's one of his most well-known works. It's one of his most beloved works.
I mean,
and
Spider-Man will be in Endgame too.
I know, but I'm saying, like, think about it. If they're gonna do that message, I feel like Spider-Man will be the movie for that, because not only does the message Far From Home ring a bell, but like I said, it's one of his most well-known works, and it's one of his most beloved works. And so I feel like to pay homage to Stan Lee, you should definitely put it on Spider-Man.
I would disagree with that. I would say that because all of his well-loved works are in Endgame, they would do it, and they should do it for that one.
Okay, I mean, I get where you're going with that, and I'm not going to disagree that they shouldn't, but I'm saying, like, for me, personally, like, you know, I feel like throughout the years, you kind of got to know Stan Lee, and you would always hear him say Spider-Man is
my favorite.
one of his favorite characters that he ever made, and I'm just saying, like, it would be like, you know, the icing on the cake for me personally as a fan to see that, like, you know.
I think there'll definitely be a call out to it in
Yeah.
Far From Home. I'm just saying, I think for like the grand send off to see that screen in loving memory of Stan Lee, I think
Yeah.
Endgame is the one to do it on.
Hang on,
'Cause
that
one would definitely
we might
hit
be
the
wrong
most
here.
part.
I know we're getting off the topic of Captain Marvel, but we might be wrong here, and all three of those movies have the same thing.
Maybe, I don't know.
They might have just went, like, because, you know, it's the following year after his death, and they just want to pay homage to him throughout the entirety of this year.
Maybe.
Put it in all Marvel movies. I mean, that would be better than, you know, just Spider-Man or Endgame,
Yeah.
you know? Or even just Captain Marvel, all three of them. Like,
Yeah, I agree. But let's get back to these 4 questions before we have to jet on out of here. Number 1, can the movie follow the origin of Captain Marvel? Are you guys familiar at all with the origin of Captain Marvel?
we know she was a human being, you know, born here on Earth.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. Went into the military, specifically the Air Force, becomes a pilot, yada, yada, yada. Years later, shit happens, some kind of freak accident.
Shit happens.
I'm just saying, Forrest Gump.
Quote unquote.
And, you know, alien genes.
I swear, I thought you were about to say alien jizz.
No, alien genes get, like, you know, spliced into her genetic makeup.
Yeah,
and
they do.
and she,
Oh no, I'm doing the thing that all the feminists are telling me not to do. I'm making sex jokes about the...
bad ends.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyways,
It's not, apparently.
back to what I was saying.
Not okay, but
It's not okay, but sorry, not sorry.
I am. He's not sorry. I'm sorry.
But yeah. So, like, she gets alien genes spliced into her genetic makeup and becomes a superhuman hybrid.
Basically, apparently, like, and I'm probably way off, but as far as I can remember, there was originally a Captain Marvel who was like full-blood Kree, like a born Kree.
Yep.
and there was some villain that came and attacked their base. She was a military worker there. He shielded her from a blast from some specific machine. I forget what it's called. It's some weird name. And that kind of shocked some DNA from Mar-Vell into Carol, and that gave her superpowers. And like for a few years she was dealing with trying to figure him out, and she went through a couple of like identity crises. Like, you ever heard of Warbird?
Yep.
That was her. Ms. Marvel, and then eventually Captain Marvel.
We can't forget about Binary.
Well, Binary is her Jean Grey, her Dark Phoenix, where she like loses her shit and gets super powerful.
Exactly, but I'm saying that's still part of the character.
Oh yeah, I know that. Which, do you think we'll see that?
I don't think we will see that in
I
this.
think we'll see that in Endgame for sure.
Yeah, in Endgame, most definitely, but
For sure.
I'm just gonna say this for her. Me, as far as the backstory of Captain Marvel, I don't know too much. So I'm looking for this movie to fill me in.
Right.
So so somebody going into this movie who doesn't really know too much about the character, I'm hoping this movie can really do what it's supposed to do. Because if I lose track of anything throughout this whole entire thing, that's negative. If it feels like something is off, it's negative. If it feels like, I don't know, just as a whole, like, the character isn't portrayed, or the character isn't being portrayed to their fullest, that's a negative. Because I had heard that, you know, Brie Larson's performance was kind of, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but I just heard she didn't have, you know, enough emotion, like, she didn't give the character,
her acting's very wooden in this particular one, which is so weird to me because I know she's a good actress. Like, I know she is.
And I hope
So I'm like, why isn't she?
Because when I look at the movie, I'm gonna ask myself a question: could any other female actor play better? Yeah, could have done it better.
Yeah. And if the answer is yes, then Marvel did something that we didn't think it was possible for them to do, and that's miscast a character.
yeah, like
Because so far they have been dead on with their cast.
Robert Downey Jr. as
Iron Man.
freaking
It is
Iron Man.
impossible to consider anybody else as Iron Man.
Hugh Jackman as friggin'
Well, they didn't.
Wolverine. I know,
Marvel Studios
but
did.
I know Marvel Studios didn't do that. But I'm just saying, like, because it's a Marvel character. I'm just saying, most Marvel characters have been portrayed on the big screen correct, regardless of what studio. Even who was it? Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Yeah, like still
Beats the time.
perfect. But
So, I hope they can follow this story, make it sensical for newcomers. The acting portrayal, that kind of goes into what we were talking about. We've heard that Brie Larson's performance is not
yeah,
amazing. I'm trying to avoid negative words before I see it. Like, I need to see it for myself. But
I'm just saying, this right here, this tied in the Endgame, so
that's what I was telling him.
I really hope it's not a bad.
I was telling him, and I was telling David today, as soon as I saw the end credit scene in Endgame of Nick's pager showing the Captain Marvel symbol, I said, everything now rests on Captain Marvel. I don't mean in the story, I mean the climax of 10 years is now resting on Captain Marvel and its performance as a movie. And right now I am scared because this is making people less hype about Endgame.
right now I am scared because, like you said, this movie does rest, like it holds the entire cinematic universe that we've come to know and love. Like this, it's holding it like it's a fragile new little egg.
No, it's not holding it like it's fragile. It's holding it like it's a big secret, and that nobody can know about it.
Well, yeah.
Like it's not going for. Well, yeah, no, I guess you're right. It's holding it like it's fragile. It's not going for the fences. It's not going for something big, new, and crazy.
Exactly.
It's holding it back. We need to be up here. We need to be Simbaing this and like, just showing it to all of Africa. And
Don't you mean Wakanda?
shut your fucking.
Wakanda.
I knew you were gonna do it. Anyway. Like it's you gotta go for the fences, and right now I'm not seeing anything crazy or new, and I'm scared about that. But as far as a story, I hear that there are a couple of twists that are good. I hear that the villain is pretty alright. That gives me a lot of hope for the story. And I hear that young Nick Fury is very good for young Nick Fury.
It's Samuel L. fucking Jackson. What do you expect?
I've heard very good. I haven't heard excellent, which scares me even more. And I'm not blaming him. I'm just, I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
maybe
I mean, you know,
maybe they told him to act different.
Of course, he was younger. Nick Fury wasn't a badass when he was younger. I mean, he was, but he wasn't.
He was getting there.
He was getting there, yeah. See?
He was Naruto while he was training for Okay.
Now, I would have said Sasuke, because, you know, he loses an eye, so...
No, because...
I said I would have said Sasuke, because he loses an eye.
No, that's Obito.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right.
Obito does that.
Yeah.
Too, but, like, Sasuke loses both his eyes, and then he gets two new ones.
Exactly, that's what I meant. Like, he does...
His transplant. He just got his brother's eyes transplanted in the head.
True, but he still loses an eye.
We're talking mad spoilers about Shippuden right now.
Yeah, we are. Damn.
Like, sorry.
Sorry, man.
Sorry, anybody who's in the middle of watching Shippuden.
He took Sasake's eyes out. He was bad. You know,
Well, there was a...
Well, I mean, technically, Fury still has his eye.
Incorrect, because there was one part of the show in which Itachi Uchiha, Sasuke's brother, placed a genjutsu on him and made Sasuke think that he forcibly ripped out his eye. So,
Ooh,
but that was
technicality.
real. That's Genjutsu. It's an illusion.
well, that doesn't matter because it's
True, but hang on.
I read the manga.
Yeah, Sasuke still killed him, so like...
Hang on. I'm gonna still say this. Nick Fury still has his other eye. He just keeps it covered.
Dude, imagine Nick Fury with a Sharingan.
Oh shit,
The world would just implode.
it would. First of all, you have a Cloud Ninja with a fucking Sharingan. So,
Oh yeah, because all the Cloud Ninjas are black. The Raikage. They should have just called them the Black Kage. I would have accepted it.
no,
Why not?
just no.
Anyway, before we run out of time, we got about a minute 40 seconds left.
All right, so let's
Talk really quick about how we think this is going to tie into Endgame.
Okay.
My first and foremost hypothesis: Binary is going to kick Thanos' ass for sure.
Okay, I can see that.
Like, it's gonna be a Doctor Strange Thanos-esque fight, right? Where they're like holding each other off for like, yeah, they're trading shots, and they're both doing really good. Captain Marvel's gonna go down really hard. Thanos is gonna make fun of her, and then Carol's gonna get pissed off, and her hair is gonna explode into fire, and then it's just gonna be one. Yeah, just it's gonna be like one big good one.
Yo, you play Smash Bros, right?
Game.
You know, when you punch, like, he gets up. It's up, B? Yeah.
or Donkey Kong.
Charge out of it. Or fully charged. Oh, no.
That's the one.
That's it.
Because fire. Anyway, that's my prediction. I think that Binary will show up for sure.
In Endgame.
Yeah, in Endgame. What is yours? We're almost done, but I'm gonna say fuck the timer.
Okay.
And I'm gonna let you go on with your final predictions.
Okay, my final prediction for for Captain Marvel and Endgame is Captain Marvel is going to be set up as, you know, the go-to for when shit hits the fan.
Yep.
And not really do shit about, you know, all the other little superhero shit. And in Endgame, she's going to be like, well, shit hit the fan, so I'm here. Yeah. Save the day and save everybody's ass.
I think, yeah, I think she's going to be the problem solver in this whole thing.
Yeah. What about you?
Me. Captain Marvel. I just hope shit's good. That's it. I just hope the movie is good.
Well, Devin.
And in Endgame, I know that Captain Marvel can play a very big role in that. She's gonna probably end up being the savior, but I just hope
I gotta tell you,
Captain Marvel is good enough it's good enough to, you know, I don't know. I'm skeptical.
I know.
I'm really skeptical. I just can't hype anybody up for that. I just can't.
Before we end, I have this funny story that I just remembered. So I was watching this podcast, and this dude, you remember the credit scene I was telling you about when Nick's pager showed the symbol?
Yeah.
Okay, so this dude was watching the movie, and it got to that scene, and it's going like zooming in slowly on the pager. And this dude, like, obviously everybody knew it was Captain Marvel, but he was watching it and he heard this dude behind him start going, Hawkeye? Hawkeye? and then he's turned around and he said, yeah, he'll solve it.
Wow.
Also, Hawkeye's going to be probably Ronin, and
He's definitely Ronin, and that's gonna
game,
be
so
that's gonna be neato.
yeah.
I like that. Anyway, yeah, that about does it for our predictions video. Thanks so much for watching, you guys.
We will do a review sometime, either later tonight, if not to sometime this weekend.
This coming week.
Yeah.
This has been the movie preview.
I like that. That's gonna be it.
Movie preview.
Movie preview.
Captain Marvel.
Yep. I guess that's the title.
Rated R starts Friday. All right, bye guys.
Later.
All right, see you later.